Greetings and blessings, everyone. This is James from Blue Star Spiritual Group. Today's video is on questions and answers. I kind of realized I've been on this path for a long time, for since 1986, and I've learned a lot of things and been awakened to a lot of things over those years. And I realized recently that there's a lot of people that's joining our group who perhaps is just awakening, and there are things that I may take for granted because I've learned them over time that other people don't know. And so because of that, I thought the question and answer time would be really good. Now we've got some good questions. And please understand that on this particular video, normally when I do a video or a channeling of Tobin's, I share it in many different groups. This particular video on questions and answers is strictly for the way. Okay, so first question. First question actually comes from my sister, Carla Smith Weber, who's over in Arkansas. How do you know our hearts and minds? Now, this is a really good question. And for each person, they have a different answer. But the eyes are the windows to the soul. And over a long time, and a lot of going through a lot of stuff and everything, I've learned to trust in my heart and in my intuition. I guess I've had to focus a little bit more on those areas because I'm not a visual person. So if you can close your eyes and imagine an apple and see the apple, you're a visual type person. If you wake up in the morning and go, wow, I had these incredible dreams. Well, I'd be a little jealous, actually. I rarely remember dreams. And if I remember a dream, it's because it's really, really important to remember. But I'm not a visual person. And as such, I've had to rely on my own heart and intuition and my own feeling and sensing. Each person gives off an energy, and there are times when I can look at a person or read the words that they write and feel certain energies from them. It's very powerful. Now I realize that a lot of people probably don't know this, and so as you don't know this, Carla is my stepsister, and believe it or not, we, at this particular juncture, this particular point, we actually haven't met in physical yet. That hopefully will be rectified very soon. But to be honest with you, Carla, for you, you're an open book. I've gotten so many things on you from our conversations. I feel a lot from you. I trust my heart and my intuition, and that's how I know, or how I pick up on what's in somebody's heart. Yeah, that one. Okay, our next question comes from Matthew Harris. If we are all spiritual beings, why are there so many on the dark side who can see the light, perhaps, but can't get there? Matthew, that's a really great question. This is a planet of duality and density and illusion and games and so on and so on. As such, there are many of us who, volunteers, light workers, dark workers, who, how can you understand the darkness if you don't understand the light? And vice versa. How can you understand the light if you don't understand darkness? So we live lifetimes of light and dark because we are participating here. I have a friend. She is a reptilian. She serves darkness. There are some in this group who know who I'm talking about. No names. We're not going there. I have great love for her. We had an agreement that I would assist her in moving in a different direction in this incarnation, if possible. And it didn't work. But it's okay, because it's only one life. And she hasn't lost anything. She's actually been given a gift that will enable her to move in the direction she wants to move in, but probably won't be as full or as far as she could have had she made other choices. But that's okay, because in her next incarnation, she will definitely be walking a different path. You see some people in this incarnation who are of darkness, and you wonder, why can't they make a different choice? They're being pushed in a certain direction, in a certain way, to go in a certain direction by their guides, by their higher self. It is free will choice. And for some, there's too much fear. So what we have to do is we have to focus more on our own path and our own choices and being true to who we are. This is really important. If someone is of darkness, they are just as important on this planet as someone who is of light. They are serving purpose just like everybody else is. So if you see someone of light and you wonder, and you know that they can see the light, but they're just not getting there, it may be a situation where they're not supposed to in this incarnation. I realize that it may seem unfair, but it is part of the dance that we try, move in this place. I hope that answers the question. If you want me to expand or something, perhaps change up the question a little bit. So our next question is from Kelly. Okay. I'm going to read this out. Kelly Ethorn. I was spoken to the other night as I was falling asleep. It was the first time I've heard spirit. I got arthritis. I wasn't expecting it. I tensed up. I didn't know if the energy was dark or light. I can't stop thinking about it. The voice was so clear and real. Because I got a fright, will they return? How do I become ready? Trust. But what if it's dark energy? How do I know the difference, please? I know that's more than one question, but it's kind of about knowing the difference between light and dark energy and what to do to protect or clear if it's dark. Thank you. Cool. Okay, very simple. Kelly. Yes, they will come back. They said something to you because they looked at your energy and said, she's ready. They're used to the fact that the first time it happens, or the first couple of times it happens, it does have a tendency to spook us a little bit because we're not expecting it. Well, sometimes anyway. Well, that's fine. So, yes, yeah, it's fine. It's no problem. Janice is doing a reading, so it's all good. Okay. On the 19th of July, we have our live event here in Newtown. And one of the things that I'm going to be talking about is setting our rules. And because you've asked the question here, Kelly, I'm going to go ahead and tell you all how you do this. When I first started channeling, next month it'll be 26 years. I started channeling Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Raphael. And one of the things that they told me straight out, and I suspect that they did this because they knew that I wasn't going to be like your everyday average channeler who channels one being or even a couple of beings. I can channel anybody. Which sometimes is a little annoying and sometimes is a little stressful, but it's proven to be phenomenal over the years, believe me. So for a very long time, before I would channel, before I would do a reading, before I would do a healing, before I would teach a class, anything, I would set my rules. And you can live by this, all right? So I'm telling everybody now who watches this, get out a piece of paper and a pen. Listen to this a couple of times if you need to write it down. You can alter it or change it as you need to from your heart, okay? So when I started, this is what I said. This is what I would say. I command, in the totality of the Lord God, Goddess that I am, that only those beings of light who are here for my highest and greatest good are allowed to communicate to me, through me, or be around my energy field, so be it. Very simple. What's the importance about setting a rule, though? And I'll tell you what it is. When you do this, you will notice that I said, I command. In the totality of the Lord God, Goddess that I am. As such, what you're doing is you are saying, I reclaim my power and divinity. I'm speaking from a place of power, truth, from my heart. This is the way it's going to be. They have to abide by that. So if you do this, Kelly, before you go to bed, and you hear somebody, and you hear somebody speak to you, I can guarantee you they won't be from the darkness. Now, that will help your mental side more. My feeling is that those that you heard are in truth your true family that come from where you come from. You don't come from here. They're not of darkness. they will come again. This is the beginning for you, I believe. And it's just the start of things. No fear. More and more every day, move into your heart. Feel from your heart. Connect with them consciously. Have them come. Have them share their energy with you so you can feel their energy. Okay? You'll be fine. Please keep us up to date on what goes on with this, will you please? That really sounds amazing. Okay. Manish Jaiswal. The vibration that I feel at the tip of my fingers every time I meditate. What is that? Manish, this is a really great question. Okay. Most people are aware of the 7 main chakras, and if you have taken any Reiki training, you would be very familiar with the chakra system as well. However, having said that, in the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, hips, knees, ankles, there are chakras. In the palm of your hand right here, both hands are chakras. The soles of your feet have chakras. Tips of your fingers have chakras. Now, when I read your question, Manish, the first thing that struck me is that you're a healer. I don't know if you have learned any sort of healing. If you haven't, I would suggest you may look into that. Don't just go with something because it's out there. Really discern within your heart that which resonates within. Whether that be Reiki or whatever. There are a multitude of different kinds of healing modalities out there. When I do a massage, like a shoulder massage, right, I trust my fingers and the tips of my fingers. I can stand there and speak to somebody that's over here to my left or over here to my right, looking at them. And I'm working on somebody's shoulders sitting down in front of me. And I will hit every single spot. I'm not even paying attention to it. They will go where they need to go. You can feel with the tips of your fingers. You place your hand on somebody, you can feel their energy. If there's something wrong with them, you can feel it. If they have a wall up, you can actually feel the wall. Work with it. You are feeling energy. One moment. Sorry for the pause. Okay, so the energy in the fingertips is because those are chakras. When you meditate, they become active. Tell you what, here's a great little exercise you can try, and it works a treat. It also helps you with feeling the energy and working with the energy. Okay, so next time you're meditating, you don't have to have your hands so high. I'm putting them up simply so that you can see them on the screen. Put your hands like this, not that far apart, and just feel the energy going between the fingers and between the palm chakras. While you're meditating, you can increase the frequency and decrease the frequency. Increase the amount decrease the amount. As you begin working with it like that, you will feel the difference in the energies. The more you do that, the more you get used to that, the more you understand the energy moving between your hands. When you do a healing on somebody, or like if you're married and you do a foot massage or a shoulder massage for your wife, work with it on that as well, and you'll notice a difference. They'll notice a difference as well. Okay. Yeah. So next question. I think this is the fun one, I think. Okay. Danielle, Kaiwai. We have many in this world who claim to be the reincarnate of previous beings who roamed the world. People like Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Dalai Lama, Buddha. My question is, how can so many people believe they are the reincarnate of the same being? Could they all be right? Or can only one of them be right? How can we determine who is the true reincarnate of that particular being? I understand the concept of discerning within our hearts. However, if several of us discern and we each come up with a different answer with who is the true incarnate, are we all right since we each found our answers in our hearts? Okay, that's more than one question. Okay. That's an interesting question. Now, personally, I've never heard of anyone who has claimed to be the reincarnation of Buddha or Muhammad or Kuan Yin or anyone like that. With Jesus, it's a little bit different. I have heard of a guy in Russia who claims to be the reincarnation of Jesus. He has set himself up in an intentional community. He has his followers who live there with him, blah, blah, blah. There is a guy in Queensland over in Australia who claims to be Jesus. His partner, he claims, is Mary Magdalene. There is a Christian TV evangelist in the Philippines who claims to be the reincarnation of Jesus. And from what I understand, the guy who's the head of the Moonies thinks he was Jesus as well. Now, if one of the masters, like Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Buddha, Muhammad, were to reincarnate, they would not make it public, number one. If they were to tell anyone, they would only tell those who were their closest confidants, as it were. And the reason would be that those individuals were close confidants before, if you know what I mean. They wouldn't want to make it public. And even if they did, they would understand the fact that there's no point in making it public, to be honest with you. I mean, I have a very famous past life, you know. Probably from the 5th century AD, still known today. And any of you familiar with the Arthurian legends would have heard of me. Was I King Arthur? No. Was I Lancelot? No. I was Sir Gawain, cousin of King Arthur, son of, I was an uncle of King Arthur from up north. King Arthur's mother's sister was my mother at that time. Still today, people know of my name. They don't know a lot about me, but I was dedicated to Arthur and what Arthur stood for and what had died for him and so on and so on and so on. I'm also very familiar with a lifetime as a Knights Templar, one of the original Knights Templar, who went to Israel in the First Crusade that recovered certain treasures and brought them back. And I've remembered things around that and what some of the treasures were and where they are. And anyway, doesn't really matter because they're not going to be released anyway. Let's look at Jesus for a moment. Let's say he comes back, announces to the world, I'm Jesus, I'm back. And how many people would believe him? Maybe 1/4% of the population. I mean, the last I heard, there was over 3,000 different Christian denominations. And most people believe, because of the paintings that are out there, that Jesus actually looks like a Northern European man. He doesn't. He never did. He didn't look like that when he was alive. He's Jewish. He's from the Middle East. He's from Israel. I kind of suspect he had olive-colored skin and probably dark curly hair and dark eyes. And did not look like a white Northern European man. I'm just saying. Now, as somebody who has done past life regressions for a very long time, and for anyone who's had one of my guidance scrolls can attest to, I'm fairly clear on past lives, and I think of all the guidance scrolls that I've done, there's one, and I don't really get names really. There was one that she had been a queen in a previous lifetime. Outside of that, I wouldn't really necessarily say that any of them were one of the masters or even someone who was overly famous, to be honest with you. Perhaps they were well known in their time, but like I have said, with regards to past lives, you look at past lives for one of two reasons, either for entertainment purposes or to see how that is affecting your current lifetime. All right, you look at me here, all right. I have a bum right knee because I have arthritis in my knee. A little overweight. Not into fighting. But I was Sir Gawain. I was a knight of the Round Table, swords and shields. And I do love swords and shields, and I like the medieval societies and stuff like that. The Society for Creative Anachronism. All that type of stuff. Probably where it comes from. But I'm not Sir Gawain. I'm James. And this lifetime is the most important lifetime because it's the lifetime I'm leading. So if someone is proclaiming to the world that they were Buddha or Muhammad or Enoch or Saint Germain, Merlin, who cares? Doesn't matter. And if a lot of people are so concerned about who somebody was in their past life, they need to focus more on this life as well. My opinion. And let's see, lucky last, Pamela Hogan. First off, Pamela, you're welcome. anytime. Truly, just think of me, no problem. With regards to Wayne, this is for questions and answers, not readings. However, I will say this. Live your life from your heart. Don't worry about what somebody else is or is not doing. If they are wanting to be there, they will be. If they don't, they won't. Personally, I would say never, but that's just me. Doesn't really matter. I personally wouldn't worry about it. So everyone, this is our first question and answer session. Share amongst everyone, because you never know. One of you may have asked a question that somebody else has as well, but didn't ask. So, enjoy this, and perhaps this will bring out even more questions for next week. Much love, peace and love to all of you. Many blessings. Also, for those of you in the Wellington area, our first live event is going to be on Sunday the 19th of July, which is next Sunday. The event's going to be $25, and there will be a door prize, so one person will be winning a guidance scroll reading, which would be kind of cool, which is a value of $50. Doors open at 2 o'clock. The event will go from 2:30 to 4:30, and if you can go onto the event and just click that you're going to go, that's great, because it helps me with numbers. But if you're not and you just show up, that's great too. I don't really care. It will be a lot of fun. Okay. The lecture is going to be on No More Rules, and then the paradox, setting your rules. Go figure. We're also going to talk about journeys and meditations and how they can assist you in accessing information for your own personal spiritual path. Along with this, we will have a channeling from Tobin from Pleiadian High Council. So those of you who can attend, this is going to give you an opportunity to experience Tobin firsthand, which is a really good thing. And he's going to be talking about the transition that we're all in on this planet, moving to the new Earth. All right, so much love and have a great evening.